Yeah, it was like Ico and Ico of Persia.
Echo.
Level 857 Video Game Podcast.
Nintendo Indie World, August 18th, showcase highlights 14 Switch games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they had like a 20-minute indies, but they used to call it Nindies.
Nindies.
But they changed that. They changed that.
Why they
Just
change
named
it?
Nintendo Indie World now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They fired the guy. Who,
But the indie people.
Imagine that was
Well, if these
I
games,
guess
are
we
for
won't use
something-
that hashtag.
If these are different, if they're for other systems, then you don't want to be Nindies. If it's just for Nintendo, then yeah. But if it's for everything, you want to market your stuff on Steam and other systems, you don't want to be called Nindies. So I can understand why they wanted to change this to Nintendo Indie World.
Ninja
But-
and the Jones.
No,
Go ahead.
wow.
no,
Right.
no.
That was a
So,
stretch.
No
That
sense.
was a stretch.
so overall, people seem to be excited about this, and I'm happy to see that because you know how people are with the Nintendo Directs. So
Awful.
there's a lot more positivity involved in this one.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
surprisingly.
They had some titles that stood out. The thing I like about the indies is you never know what it looks like. You never know what type of game it's going to be. There's a lot more freedom to do what you want to do. And it reminds me of like the 16-bit days where you didn't know what type of game was going to come out.
Right.
With AAA games, it's always so much money involved in it. They have to make
Presentation.
it a certain way to do that. It has to be a Hollywood movie. You
Yeah,
know exactly that you're
the
going to
games are advertised like a movie.
yeah. But these games, you can get something like there was a game called Card Shark.
Oh yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
It's
Actually,
about cheating in cards, and I was like, "This is a game about cheating in cards." And when they catch you cheating, they will blast you in the face. And I was like, "Wow, that looks funny." If you're gonna have a game as simple as that, and you made it look interesting, I'm pretty happy about
that's why I
that.
don't play cards.
But as far as like just the graphical undertones of these games, they just look so weird.
Yeah.
Like the fantasy.
Did you see?
What's that?
Sorry to interrupt. Did you see Bear and Breakfast? I think it's called.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're a bear and you run like a bed and breakfast.
You have
and
to build up.
You've got to make. I can't imagine
concepts
a
come
better
from?
game. If I'm honest,
Bear and
I think it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It just sounds really interesting.
It
I
actually, the
like
trailer
that.
did look interesting.
These
Because
concepts are hilarious.
it was
I think it's psychedelics.
well, it was a crappy place you had to build up. I was like, okay, a lot of people love the management type games now. I mean, either you're farming, or you're building, or you're.
There was a lot of farming ones. There
There's
was
a
like
lot.
three. There was like three of them in there.
What
But-
about? Oh,
But then they hit you with that it was a bear
Yeah.
inviting these people, and they're like, oh yeah, the people will come out. And if you go in the forest, you might run into things that are trying to kill you or whatever. I'm
Right.
like, what the hell is this game? What is this? But the
Yeah.
concept was interesting, as out there as it was. Being a bear fixing a house for people to live in makes perfect sense somehow. Somehow.
There was another game in the eShop, indie eShop recap that we had we recorded. We did a live reaction of, and it was what was it? It was something about humanity. Like you were an alien experimenting on humans.
Yep.
And they had to do like different tests. Like
Oh, that was a
you had
mess.
to, you had to like have them
Oh, it was a hot
procreate.
mess.
So they put them in the jar, and they were like procreating.
Yeah,
and
they were all like.
Then they had them on humans on like a hamster wheel. It was weird.
It was.
Those
It
games
was.
are all
It was
weird.
out there, man.
But
But it
It's-
looked interesting.
another one that's weird was Manifold Garden. I'm pretty sure
We have
that's
the code.
something
No,
that
we have
you
we
would
have, we
play.
have the code. We have the code for
Yes.
it.
For that
actually.
one?
I contacted the guy. Well, he hit us up, and
That's
I'm like,
an Alvin.
and I said, this guy's.
no,
gonna,
no,
I said,
I
I
saw-
showed you.
you
I was
showed
like,
me
I said,
yesterday,
this
yeah.
guy's gonna like that.
Yeah,
Instantly,
no.
I'm like, he's gonna
I
like
looked at it.
this.
I was like,
Because there's
I'm gonna love it.
staircases, there's flippable puzzles. and I
It's
was
so
like,
beautiful,
Oh
though.
man,
It's a
that
beautiful
looks like
looking
it's gonna
game.
mind fucking
I am the
bad.
puzzle guy, man. I'm the puzzle game guy. I love it.
No, you'll
It
love
looks
that.
like
I love
your
it. I
brain
love
is
Portal.
going
It's
to
one of
melt.
my favorites. Huh?
It looks like your brain's gonna melt during.
Oh, I from watching the trailer, I was like, oh yes, I can see it. I can see it. I'm like, okay,
polished. It definitely looked
Yeah,
polished.
it
All
looked
right.
good.
looks really good though.
And they had a game that reminded me of Ori. It was Evergate.
Every game.
That was when you're a little
Yes.
like white little
Yes.
puffball guy, and
Yeah.
you like shoot yourself across the screen. It was definitely like I could definitely say that was inspired by some type of Ori type look. But the art was cool. A lot of those games, a lot of indie games do go that route.
Right.
But it looked interesting, though. There was another one he had.
Yeah, they're a lot.
Why don't
and
we
they were
just
so
say the
different.
ones? Why don't we just go around
I'm
and
not
talk
gonna go
about the
through
ones?
everything. I'm
Yeah,
just
we'll
gonna
just
go
talk the
through-
ones that stood out to you.
There was one that stood out, but it just looked like the frame rate was a little
Janky.
janky in the trailer. But you can't always go by the trailer.
Yeah.
You gotta play the game.
Right.
But Raji, and
I like
Ancient
that.
Epic,
Yeah.
Raji and Ancient Epic.
That
That
looked good.
I was surprised because I was so waiting for them to call it the Princess of Persia. I was so waiting. I was like, this is definitely the Princess of Persia. Why wouldn't you call it that at all? But you know, obviously it's not Ubisoft, but it looked like it could have been called that
The
if they went that
Princess
way.
of Persia.
And look, I liked it. I watched that for a minute. I'm like, this looks pretty cool.
It looked
I
like that could be a standout from
Yeah,
from
definitely.
the whole set.
The
Absolutely.
Prince of Persia's sister. No, I'm sorry.
Exactly. but it did look a little. The frame rate looked a little janky in the
Clean it a
trailer.
little bit. That's all.
Yeah. So
Reminded me a little of Ico. You remember
yes,
Ico?
yes, absolutely. Yep.
Reminded me a little of that with the kind of platforming and the kind of just
I like that.
kind of quite smooth kind of the way that the kind of character moved and yeah,
no, it looked like a
kind of moody kind of atmosphere in the backgrounds as well. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, it was like Ico and Ico of Persia.
Echo. Persia.
Oh man.
And then they had another game there that I wanted to be real, but I knew it wasn't. Like the graphics, the way they brought it out, it looked like they were like claymation. It was Takeshi and Hiroshi.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That was
But-
cool.
But I
Yeah.
wish that the game looked like I'm waiting for a game to have the graphics like that. Now they can do it. I know they
that
can.
was pretty. I like
to make
that.
it look like
that was
direct,
charming.
To
Yeah.
make it look
looked
like
good.
direct freaking claymation. I'm waiting for that
Yeah.
in the whole game. I want the whole game to look like that.
That was
So
charming.
next
It
generation.
was charming.
Coming
I
soon.
liked it. I liked
I'm
it.
sure somebody's working on it.
Yeah, it kind of disappointed me when they switched to the regular style.
Mhm.
All
Right.
right. And I was like, man, damn it. I
Yeah.
really wanted to see
They
something
were showing
really
like the
different
attacks
looking.
and
Yeah.
I was like,
But it looked good, though.
I
It looked good.
like the way
Next
that
gen.
looked.
Next gen.
I'm waiting next gen for that.
Next gen will do it. They'll do it.
I want Yoshi's Island to look like that.
Yoshi's
That'd
Island.
Gotta
actually
do it
be cool.
completely claymation like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are the standout. They was a game that I called out right from the beginning. I was like, "This is Sports Story," and I was like, "Nah, it's not though." But it's Garden Story because it looked like Golf Story.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it was about farming, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yo,
there's
they
a lot of
lo-
games like
A
farming."
lot of these, they trying to bank on this Animal
they make
Crossing
money.
type shit.
They make money.
They love it. They
Trying
love
to get
it.
this peaceful games going.
Yeah.
What's
Nah,
that
there's no
other
violence.
farming simulator that one developer?
Harvest Moon?
Stardew.
Oh no, Stardew
No,
Valley.
Stardew Valley. that's
Stardew
it.
Valley.
Started.
They're banking.
Yeah, they make
they
a
bank.
lot of money.
There's
off
one guy that did that.
that. He can hire a whole team now.
Yeah, right?
He's like, nah, I want all the money.
yeah.
Fuck the whole team.
I'll make the other game. I'll make a sequel.
He's the
Myself.
he's
I'm not hiring nobody.
That's what Mike is doing. He's the whole team.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He's like, give me all the money.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do you like talk to yourself like as like you're the boss and then you're like, oh yeah, get back to work. All right.
Break time's over.
I don't want to work.
Split
Okay, you don't
personality.
have to then. All right.
Clocking out early today.
And then they ended it. I mean, those are the big titles that we
Right.
could talk about. But then they ended it with I was like, they showed a bunch of little games or ones without bigger trailers. And then I was like, oh, it's not over. That can't be the end right there. And then you hear this goose sound, and I was like,
Oh, that was
hell
hilarious.
yeah,
That
there's
was
gotta
funny.
be this is how they ended.
That was pretty
And then
funny.
they introduced multiplayer co-op, 2 players on Goose Game.
Yes.
So
It was pretty funny.
Untitled Goose Game.
Untitled Goose Game 2.
They did a good job on that trailer because he's like barking. I'm like, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang.
So
And he's like
annoying.
this, and the other guy's like, pops out of nowhere. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this second goose.
And that's a free download. Free download.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You forgot about the first one they showed though. It was pretty cool. Even though it's a roguelite. I forgot the name of it.
It
but
was
it-
roguelite. It was
Hades. Yeah,
Hades.
that one
Hades
was
looked
pretty
good,
cool.
but you know roguelike turns itself completely
Yeah.
about the game.
And then you know what's
But
messed
it
up?
looked like Transistor or whatever, right?
Yes.
Looked like that, and it looked like another game they did. But
Diablo.
But Transistor
it's
was
not Diablo at all.
Transistor
It was
wasn't,
it was a faster it was a faster pace.
like a faster pace
It looked cool
transition.
action, but as soon as they said roguelite, I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, it did have a good concept though, because
Yeah.
you every time you die, you start back in hell, and you have to get back out of it.
it makes roguelite makes sense for that
For that
concept.
thing,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
And it looked fun.
Yeah.
And I heard that people who did play it, because it's available on the PC right now, not completely done. It's like an
Beta?
alpha stage or whatever,
Right.
or the beta. I don't know what's the difference, but
Master.
no, it's not.
No,
master.
man, stop it.
But it's not released yet. But you can play it on the PC, and people who have played on the PC said it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look cool. I would play it. But
did
depending,
look like
depending on like
Transistor.
what's saved when I die. Like I hate that shit.
Roguelikes.
So
Oh,
if-
man.
If the only games in your collection are called Hades and Diablo, people are gonna be like, "What the hell's wrong with this guy?"
True. But Turbo, you could agree with the Children of Mortar. They did roguelite very well.
Yeah, because
They did it very well.
There was real progression. Once you passed the stage, it was done.
Yeah, it was done.
Yeah.
But if you die in the same thing,
You know
do it
what?
over, which is fine.
That's
but you
fine.
keep the gold, you keep all that stuff, and that's how it should be.
I stopped playing Dead Souls. I know a lot of people love this game, but
And it's an awesome game.
Dead Souls is awesome. It controls great, plays great, satisfying.
He sounds so beaten by it too. He just sounds beaten.
I just wish that it wasn't a rogue like game, man. I just really do.
Well,
It's
if
like
you can
die,
keep-
you get all these cool, especially when you get a cool weapon.
Yeah, I can't
And then
do that.
you lose it all and you start from the beginning. And
I
I'm
can't
like,
do that.
if you can keep your powers and
Yeah.
your levels and like actually feel stronger while you're doing it, I can see how it can get it
dude,
done.
That'd be
I
fine.
saw. I was just for the shits and giggles. I just looked up like how long it takes to beat the game. It's an hour and like 30 minutes. And I'm like, are you serious? Because I've been playing this for like a month and I can't fucking beat this game. I can't beat this game. The farthest I got was like, I think there's like 6 stages in the whole game.
That's like Ninja Gaiden
And
1.
I got up to like, farthest I got was like the 4th stage. And I
It's an
died off
hour.
of some stupid shit.
It's an
I
hour
was
long.
just like,
You can't get through it. It's an hour long.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
if you
so,
if you get by each stage in Ninja Gaiden 1, it's an hour.
It's literally an hour.
I need to see
That's
like
the
a
first roguelike?
cardiologist right after. Gotta go to my doctor like after. It's like, hey, can you check my heart, man?
Mike, what else? What else stood out to you in it?
I think, aside from the bear and Raji, there was a lot of. I think for me, it was just they were the 2 highlights for me because, but the kind of Raji game, I think, because of that link to Ico, and I love Ico. I think it's a brilliant game. It seems to be quite influenced by that. But I think there was something about the kind of Nintendo highlighting indie games and really putting a lot of effort and putting them front and center of a lot of the work they're doing for me. So there's something about just pulling all those games together and making something that was, and like you say, I think people's reactions have been really positive, and it's just good to see kind of indie games getting that kind of profile, because I think it can be really difficult without a budget for kind of marketing and promotion to compete with some of those kind of AAA. So I think for Nintendo to be pushing that is a really positive thing, and building such a kind of positive vibe around it. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. I just the bear and the bear and breakfast for me. I'm there day one.
I gotta admit, I was kind of sold on that too. I was like, wow, this
hilarious.
looks.
When they showed the evil wolf, I was like, oh yeah. Nah, this guy might get some run. This might get some run.
That's hilarious.
Somebody's out there eat you in the fire? Oh, nah.
Yeah.
I got to see what this is about.
Yeah, I was
There's a wolf in there. There's a wolf in Fallen City Brawl that can like tear up the enemy.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe I need to bring in a bear to go along.
that'll be another tier. That'll be another
DLC, that'll
Kickstarter.
be
Yeah,
DLC.
that's DLC. We gotta
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
bear up in there
Just add it to your Kickstarter tier.
with a
that's all.
bandana
A bear
Stretch
dinner.
and Timberlands.
Bandana.
Yo, a bandana. There you go.
Bandana.
With a bandana and Timberlands.
Don't put that. That's awful.
Dude, that was trending 2 seconds, dude. Come on, man. We got ideas.